pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I don't think I see our minister here, so we'll just move on to roll call, please.
Trustee Blue?
Yes.
Trustee Gray?
Aye.
Trustee Holston?
Present.
Trustee Horn?
Here.
Trustee Rasick?
Present.
Trustee Benson? Here.
And I might say we welcome anyone that wants to come up, open to the public. Agenda items only, please. If you have a comment you want to make or a statement, please step forward. It's almost like I'm selling $20 chances to some event. We'll move on to the consent agenda. You've all looked over the minutes and things. I would appreciate a motion in a second to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Motion by Gray, second by Razak. Any discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Trustee Gray?
Yes.
Trustee Holston?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Rasick?
Yes.
Trustee Benson?
Yes.
Trustee Blue?
Yes.
We'll move on to the clerk's report. Denisha Kojo.
No report tonight.
Okay, thank you. Mayor's report. If you wish to come forward, I'm sorry I forgot your name, but we have the new manager of McDonald's here. Why don't you come up and introduce yourself, sir?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Aiken Zaikinabe. I'm the new owner-operator of the McDonald's Monee. Thank you. Prior to this, I've worked for McDonald's for 27 years. I started my career in Southern California, where I started my career in Southern California, working for an owner-operator, then joined the corporation and worked my way through. I was the operations manager. I worked for the company, so operations manager for Alaska. I had 45 restaurants that I was responsible for in the state of Alaska, based out of Anchorage, Alaska. That was a great experience. Then had the opportunity to go back to Southern California, then Florida. My last stint was in Florida. I was in charge of the state of Florida. I had from Panama City all the way to Key West, which is about 875 restaurants that I was responsible for. When the opportunity came up to look at this restaurant in Monee, let me first apologize. I know that we're not the best neighbors in Monee, and that's the reason why I'm here today, to make sure that we fix it. We want to fix it. We want to be a good neighbor with you guys. I looked at the Yelp information on it. It's not good. I looked at the voice information that we have as well. It's not good. But I still said yes, pick me. I said pick me because I know a close-knit community like this, like Monee, we definitely could do something together. So, Mr. Mayor, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to introduce myself. I am a member, I'm a resident of Chicago. I live up in Tinley, I think it's Tinley Park. I'm still trying to get my bearings right. Tinley Park, but whatever we could do to support, as much as you guys have supported us, we are more than happy to do that. I spoke with Miss Diana, and yes,
And she got after you already, huh?
yes. Well, I got after her too. I'm like, how can we give back to the community? And we would love to do that. So thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
You're entirely welcome. Welcome aboard. That's all I have on my report. Administrator's report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Before you is agenda item H1, which is our subject is the IT project, and basically as part of our IT project update here at the Village Hall and Public Works, there is certain equipment which is required. And what we have done is through our on-staff person, John Jones, as well as our company, IT company that we hired, which was GTSAC, we have gone out and received 3 separate bids for that equipment, and which is presented to you on the information sheet. CDWG is the lowest bid at $37,583.82. And what we are asking is that the village waive the competitive bid process and waive that bidding process and approve the purchase of the equipment through CDWG. I must say that the G stands for the government side of CDW. Many of you, if not all of you, know that you can go on these websites with CDW and SHI and PCM government and purchase equipment. So we did our due diligence in that regard, and because of that is the reason we're before you today, asking you to waive that bid process. Happy to answer questions at this point.
Now, you say waive the bid process, but did we get 3 competitive bids, correct?
Yes, sir, we did, but we did not formally put bid specifications together and then place that bid formally out, advertise that bid. Attorney Grucheski could.
If I may, I'm comfortable with respect to the process. 9 times out of 10, the bid takes place for public works contracts, streets, sewers, buildings, things of that nature. This type of product is more of a specialty product, but by receiving 3 proposals, I think we're more than assured that we receive the lowest proposal for this type of equipment.
Additionally, with CDWG, well, actually with all of the 3 companies, the contacts at those companies provide the government pricing. Government pricing is something that has already gone through the vetting process with the state, and therefore they have to live up to those standards, and we are benefiting from that type of pricing structure. Attorney Grucheski.
If I may, just real quick, especially Mr. Walls indicated, if we went through the government process already, that's even more protection from the village, because they not only will purchase like this type of equipment, but they also purchase police cars, fire ambulances, things of that nature. So this is extra protection for the village. What I would indicate, I believe the price was 37 something. Thank you. You might want to say not to exceed, let's say $5,000 more, just in case, so Mr. Walker can come back. And obviously it would be an accounting to the village, but I would indicate it might be preferred to say not to exceed $42,500 for some leeway.
I'd make a motion to waive the bidding process and purchase equipment from CDWG not to exceed the amount of $42,500.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Trustee Holster?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Racer?
Yes.
Trustee Jensen?
Yes.
Trustee Blue?
Yes.
Trustee Gray?
Yes.
Thank you very much. You don't have anything on the agenda, but under my report, I would like to bring forward that I'm not sure that Trustee Rasick will be bringing this up regarding Mr. Brower, prosecutor. Okay, in that regard, we have received notice from David Brower, who was our counsel for local prosecution, and he has submitted his resignation. Apparently he is looking to ease out of the legal end of things and move into retirement. And in doing so, he has notified Chief Kerner and has also provided a couple of, 2 additional people that we may wish to look at to take his place. There's not a rush, as that Mr. Brower will continue to serve for the rest of this month, and I believe next month if needed. But we will be looking to replace his services. So that's for information only at that point. Additionally, I have recently received from Roger Holland, the 12th Judicial Circuit Court Trial Administrator, and this is in regards to the draft agreement for holding branch court here in Monee. Once I just received this, so once I have this reviewed and have my comments, I will be dispersing this to the trustees so that they are up with the most recent. And at some point, I will be back before the board to ask a direction on what they would like to, how they'd like to handle this. And last but not least is Superintendent Crizel and myself met with Aqua, Illinois, 2 weeks ago, I believe, maybe a week and a half. And basically, we took care of some business that was lingering, having to do with right-of-way, with tap fees. There's a couple of little things that need to be taken care of. But more importantly was that Aqua has applied to the Commerce Commission for a rate increase on the processing of sanitary. That rate increase, their filing, which they have filed for, and let me be clear that this is only what they're asking for. It is not in stone. It has to go through the Commerce Commission process. But their filing was for a rate of $6.52 per 1,000 gallons. And their current rate is $3.58 per 1,000 gallons. That would be an 82.1% increase since their last rate increase in 1996. So that is about 21 years, and that would average roughly about 3.9% per year. So it's just, I'm obligated to let the board and the public know this information. Please stay tuned for further information as we understand more about the rate filing and also our opportunities that may exist to object to the increase or this substantial size of an increase, and we'll carry on from there. So, and I believe at that point this does conclude my report.
Okay, I'll move on to the, any comments about that?
Question on that. Would that be a direct pass-through then to the consumer?
Yes, it would have to be. We would be running negative in that account.
And am I correct that we don't have the infrastructure to do that ourselves?
That is correct.
Roundabout, what kind of money are we talking for that?
To formulate our own processing station?
Yes. I've heard a number. I just want to see if that's the number I heard.
Yes, it's difficult. I've heard several numbers, all from engineers, and I'm going to say that first of all, the permitting process is very difficult to obtain. But number two is that it's anywhere from $10 to $20 million.
And just for the record, are there any other vendors for processing in this area?
Not to my knowledge, no. It's very difficult. We are a large contributor to the sanitary system, and we have 2 large flumes at this point. And you know, at one point we did, I'm going to say several years ago at the very least, just vaguely touched on possibly partnering with Piatone, but there's been a lot of changes in personnel and elected officials since then, and we're not sure that that opportunity still exists. So we have not taken a look at that at all.
Thank you very much. I would be remiss if I didn't say to the public that as it stands right now, this is one of our largest bills monthly. It will have a very large impact on our budgeting process and monies available. It's going to really hurt if they get anything near that. We'll move on to officials' report, and before I ask the first one to talk, trustees, I just want to applaud all the trustees on our committees. We're having meetings regularly. I'm very proud of that. We're doing our due diligence. And as mayor, I appreciate that. So, with that being said, Public Works.
I have two things tonight, Mayor. First of all, Gypsum Trail is now under major construction. Everything is heading north one way. We asked the residents that live on Sutton and Bond and Roosevelt and Wilson, please just obey the one-way thing. I live in the Highlands also. Just please be courteous and go just north unless you have to go out towards the truck stop. And Sarge, I would ask you to pass a note on, maybe you guys can monitor a little bit more, especially with the school season now in full swing. We do have some cars, and I actually did see a bus there today that was trying to go the wrong way, and it's a hazard. I mean, it's 2 minutes to go to court, or to 50, I'm sorry, or to come in through the BP, the back roads. Just please, it's construction. Just be courteous. Don't try to beat the system. With that is going to go until September, so there's no way around it for the next few weeks. So please, be courteous to everyone. Also, speaking of September, we are going to start mud jacking again. And what mud jacking is there are cracks in the sidewalks throughout all the subdivisions. And our public works is going to be going around looking for these cracks that are a major crack that will be fixed. Instead of tearing out the whole 5x5 square, they will come in with a little, I'll say a jackhammer, pull the ground up and try to level off. In the same breath, if you see somebody driving on a gator down your sidewalk, please don't call the police. That is our public works. That is the way they're going to look and figure out what the best way is instead of driving up and down the streets. If you do see a crack in your sidewalk, if you're out walking in the neighborhood, just drop a note on our village website and our guys will look at it. Okay, so that's the major things that are happening right now. But again, with Gypsum Trail, please be courteous and be patient. End of report.
Parks and Recs, Trustee Vincent.
As you all know, Fall Fest is going to be coming in just a few short weeks, so Diana has a few things she'd like to fill us in on.
Good evening. Fall Fest. It is going to be Friday, September 8th through the 10th. Free admission. It has live music, carnival, food vendors, fireworks, craft and business booth, beer gardens, village-wide garage sales. There is a car show and motorcycle show on Saturday. Fireworks is on Friday. Pancake breakfast is on Sunday, and special needs day is also on Sunday. Mega passes are now on sale here at the Village Hall. That is for all 3 days of riding the carnival rides for $45. You can purchase them here at the Village Hall before Thursday, September 7th is when you can purchase them. For more information on Fall Fest, go to moneefallfest.com and you can look up more information there. We are in need of volunteers. Whether you can give us every day, 1 day, a couple hours here or there, whatever you can contribute is very appreciative. Again, you can get more information on that at moneefallfest.com.
Yeah. The fireworks are Saturday, not Friday.
Fireworks are on Saturday at 9 p.m.
Any questions?
And I just want to say that she's really doing a blankety-blank job on this. She came in late to take care of it. Mary Jo has assisted her a little bit. We're struggling with volunteers. We're struggling with food vendors. We're doing the best we can with everything we can do. I might say I'd be remiss if I didn't say there will also be a senior tent, which will, that's okay. I'm glad you didn't say it because this is not a cost to the village whatsoever. It'll be sponsored by former Mayor Togo and myself. So there'll be beer, wine coolers, hard rock lemonade, soda, water, and some pretzels and things in the line. You have to be 55 year or older, but if it's grandma and grandpa with a couple of little kids, come on, it's okay. Thank you, Diana. We'll move on to finance. Trustee Holston.
We just received Moody's Investor Services report. It was issued on August 17th. Darryl, help me out on this. We were rated AA3.
AA3, yes.
AA3, which is the fourth highest rating of the 25 rating that they have in Moody's. That's an excellent rating. I'll read just a portion from the finance report. The village has a robust financial position, which is a strength relative to a assigned rating of AA3. The fund balance has a percentage of operating revenue, 162.3, far exceeds the U.S. median, and saw an impressive increase between 2012 and 2016. Additionally, Monee's cash balance has a percentage of operating revenues, 123.2%, is far superior to other Moody's rated cities nationwide. So again, kudos to the administration and particularly to our finance director who oversees this and is a large part of this report.
Thank you. We'll move on to economic development. Trustee Blue.
Thank you, Mayor. So we wanted to let folks know that Amazon are going through the final stages of completing the requirements for their certificate of occupancy by the village. Dr. Sheets is also begun work on his property, and it's worth noting that because he qualifies for the Will Cook Enterprise Zone, he can buy materials at a cost of a minimum of $50,000 from Illinois vendors free of sales tax. So we thought that was worth noting. It's a win-win. Also, I met with Prairie State College to talk about several programs to offer our teens and young people aged 18 to 24 opportunities to partner with businesses in Monee for jobs in the summer and for jobs after they graduate college. Our Economic Development Director, Kevin Daly, is working to identify businesses in Monee to present a program to offer these opportunities to, while simultaneously completing a retention survey on those businesses. So more to come on this. And report.
You know I don't like the blind side anyway, but I'm going to do it. A minor thing, Janet, if I may, because I know you can handle it. We used to give out packets to people that moved in. I don't think we do it anymore. As economic director, I would like you to look into that, see if we can come up with a handout for new residents. I think that's important to highlight some of the things in the village. Okay?
Absolutely.
I didn't think that was a difficult blind
I
side.
don't think so.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, building services.
Along the
Trustee.
same line, along the same lines as Janet had mentioned, Amazon is online. Their phase 1 is complete, and they're shipping product, and phase 2 will be complete in the next few weeks. And then, as she previously mentioned, the Sheets, Fall Sheets property is under construction in this report.
Thank you, Trustee Horn. Public safety, Trustee Raisik.
Yes, I have a few things, Mr. Mayor. The Monee Police Department has already noticed an increase in calls for service related to Amazon. Traffic crashes, thefts, and criminal damage reports have been handled. It is expected that these types of incidents will continue as Amazon and Monee both experience growing pains. Both Monee Police Department and the Monee Fire Department have built a relationship with security and safety personnel at the Amazon site and expect this will make the transition much smoother on both sides. The school season is here. Please remember our streets are filled with children going to and from school. Please be cautious and expect strict enforcement of school zone violations. The Neighborhood Watch program is still in the infant stages and hopes to move forward in the next couple of weeks. The organizers will have information and flyers at Fall Fest. And lastly, Crete and surrounding Will County have had another rash of car burglaries in the last couple of weeks. Monee Police remind residents, again, please lock your doors and don't let yourself be a target of opportunity. End of report.
Thank you very much, Trustee Rizek. We'll move on to attorney's report. Larry?
Yeah, we got 3 items for the board's consideration. The first item is a ordinance for a special use permit on behalf of Ms. Tanya Davis. Ms. Davis made a presentation to the zoning board last Wednesday with respect to her operation, which would be on Governor's Highway. The zoning board made a recommendation to approve the same, and Ms. Davis is here tonight for any questions the board may have.
I think for the trustees that weren't here, if she is here, could you please step forward and inform the board a little bit of what's going on?
Good evening. Hi, I'm Tania Davis. I am planning to open or expand my existing home daycare into a center, and the building is located on Governor's Highway. It is the old Doc's Drugs building. It's due to hold about 100 children when it's completely finished and licensed by DCFS. And I'm open to any questions anyone may have.
I have questions.
Yes, sir.
I was here at your meeting. We'll talk about the play area first, which is to the west of the building.
Yes, sir.
You have a piece of grass, basically, that is maybe 20 by 60 feet.
Yes, sir.
If you even had 20 kids there, there's not enough space there.
Well, the way the licensing reads, it's 75 square feet per child that is in use of the playground facility at the time. So that determines how big it will be. However, the side of the building has not been ruled out as well. I'm actually waiting for the owner of the property to pretty much tell me if the grassy area is even in play.
The owner of the building would be the sisters, because it's all farmland.
I'm sorry, the
We're
owner
gonna-
of the building or the farmland?
To the west of the building, because you stated the night of P&Z, you were not going to go in the back of the building
Correct.
because of the hill.
Yes.
So you plan on working on that landscape area and cleaning it up?
No, the grassy area, I'm not actually sure if that's allowed. The side of the building that's concrete. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that side of the
Oh,
building.
yeah, yeah, I've been looking at it for the last couple of days.
Yes, sir. So the side of the building that is concrete is not exactly out of play.
So you're thinking of having a playground on a concrete area?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's what my child's daycare is.
I'm sorry?
My children, they go to daycare in University Park, but their playground's all concrete. It's
Okay.
smaller than theirs.
Okay.
It's like 20 by 40.
My other concern,
Yes, sir.
visibility with your cars, and you have children that are going to be coming and going to school from there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when you are looking to the north, when you're coming out of that parking lot,
Mhm.
it goes from basically 45 to 35 with a tree that blocks the visibility if a bus is pulling in or out.
Okay.
And let's just say a semi-tractor is coming down that street.
Mhm.
Do you feel that that's safe if a bus doesn't see it, is pulling in or out?
No, obviously I would not feel that's safe.
Okay.
I can't speak to that situation. It's a hypothetical situation.
It's not really hypothetical, because again, I've sat in the parking lot,
Mhm.
and you cannot see, there's a tree hanging over Route 50. as we dealt with Dollar General. Because Dollar General wanted a sign that we were talking about visibility, say, a month ago. And they did get their sign, but that curve on Route 50 coming from the north to the south, the visibility is not sufficient, in my opinion.
Sure.
Okay. The building that you're owning or trying to rent, or own, I'm sorry,
Yes, sir.
you're trying to get 7 classrooms in there?
6.
Okay. And in your vision, how long do you feel that this is going to take to have 6 classrooms?
Added,
Yes.
per my contractors, about a month.
So you feel you're going to have, now you say 100, when we had P&Z, we said 90.
No. 90 to 100, I'm sorry, sir, for the.
Okay, that's
yes.
fine. I'm just, you know.
But that's for the long term, that's at capacity.
Okay. Also, too, you spoke about your kitchen,
Yes, sir.
which would have to be commercialized kitchen.
Yes, sir.
And right now, there's not a commercialized kitchen there.
No.
Right. You have 1 washroom there?
Yes. Well, no, I'm sorry, there's 2. There's a men's and a women's existing restroom.
Okay. Because I believe, let me look at my notes here, you need to have, so you have 2 now.
Yes, sir.
So if you need to, can you expand the washrooms plus sinks to have sanitary for the kids?
Yes, sir. There has to be a certain amount of toilets and hand washing sinks for the amount of children that DCFS will license you for. Say, for instance, example, you have 3 toilets, 3 hand washing sinks. DCFS will license you for 50. If you add a 4th, they'll license you for 75. And they do not have to be considered toddler toilets as opposed to adult toilets. If they are adult toilets, they have to have a way to reach those toilets, i.e. a staircase.
Do you know if there's plumbing for that?
Plumbing for?
If you had to expand it to say 5 washrooms?
Yes.
There
There's
is
existing
plumbing there now?
Yes, sir.
Do we know that as far as maybe our economic person or maybe our administrator?
Trustee Gray, I'm not personally familiar with that, but I do know that there has been application made to the building department, and they will check and validate all of the necessary requirements as it pertains to the plumbing fixtures.
Okay. And speaking of the building department, last question. As I said, I was over there. You guys were stopped from construction at 7/12.
Yes, sir.
Because we're out of permit?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any question?
What hours are you going to be?
6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Monday through Friday?
Yes, to start. And then 6 months down the line, I plan to assess the need of the village if it's needed to be opened any longer due to the new business that's coming into the area.
I know these questions were asked at the P&Z because I was there too. Could you tell us your education? And I know you're running one right now.
Yes.
Obviously, it's smaller. You
Yes.
expect this one to start at about 60 children, I believe.
Yes.
I'm going to let you talk now, though.
Okay.
Okay, about your education and why you're qualified to do this.
Okay. I attended university at Chicago State University. I got my psychology degree in 2001. From there, well, I'm sorry, not from there, because I was a police officer before I graduated with my psychology degree. Became a police officer in 1999. That was with Richmond Park, Village of Richmond Park. I spent 14 years there before I decided on a career change, and that's when I decided to open the daycare. And right now, in my home daycare, I have 12 children licensed for 12. I am full. There is no more room for any more children to be able to take. I do receive telephone calls for more children. That's how I know that there is a great need in Monee to have a larger facility. There is one daycare in, I'm sorry, 2, because I believe there's one in the church now. There's 2 daycare centers in Monee, and I know for sure one of them is full, just from my research. And just hoping to be able to keep some of the daycare business within our own community, so they won't have to go to another community for the childcare, as the jobs become available.
Can you tell us what's your ratio of supervisors to children?
Yes, there are 3 of us employed at my daycare now, and there's 12 children, so there's 4 more.
And how many would you have if you had 60?
How many employees? 15.
15.
At least 15, yes.
Very good, thank you very much. Anybody else have any questions?
I have another, would you be doing any preschool, or is it just daycare?
No, there will be a preschool as well.
Preschool, okay, thank you.
One of the classrooms will be school-age children as well.
Thank you.
Ms. Davis, just a question. So if you're successful in implementing this new location, will you be giving up the daycare that's currently run in your residence?
According to my husband, yes.
And that's for the record?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else have any questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think at this point we're looking for a motion to approve. I'll
I'll make the motion.
that. What was that, David? You
I'll
made
make the motion.
Second.
Approved.
Second, okay. Any other discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Racer?
Yes.
Trustee Benson?
Yes.
Trustee Blue?
Yes.
Trustee Gray?
No.
Trustee Holston?
Yes.
Sorry.
1812.
8.
Thank you, Mayor. The next item is that we received a request from the current developer building, Kersey Builders, who has built the Eagle Fair subdivision. It appears as though he is hopefully on his way to finish that home that the foundation is built. He has asked the village to consider a release of the lien that we imposed, I believe, 4 or 5 years ago. In return, he would convey those 4 lots that he owes us. It is up for the board's review consideration to authorize the mayor to execute the same. It would be subject to, the release would be executed, we would send the release to the lender of the developer, indicating that the release would be recorded upon the issuance of the construction funds. That way it would give us some assurance that the money that is being used would be towards the construction of that house that is the foundation's in. The lender is a local lender, but we did receive confirmation that he does have financing for at least that one model home, hopefully a few thereafter.
And may I add that the problem is he can't get the loan with the lien there. The bank is insisting that they have first choice. Let me say it that way. So that's the reason for releasing the lien, so he can get his loan. Does anybody else have any discussion on this?
Yes, I do. How many times are we gonna deal with Seamus? This has been 4.5, 5 years. And is he here tonight to back himself?
No.
Go ahead, Larry. I'm sorry.
If I may, he asked me if it was necessary for him to appear. I didn't think it was. He did indicate he's got 29 homes over there. He does have appraisals on those properties. The vacant lots are worth roughly $10,000 an acre. I'm sorry, per lot. He does have a loan for $210,000 to build the new home. He did indicate to us that the price of the proposed new home would be roughly $275,000 to $280,000. He has stated that he needs to see how the market does. But like the mayor indicated, the lender will not issue a loan if they see a lien out there. I guess our assurance would be, again, if we send the release to the lender has just as much as interest as we do by saying the money would be released towards the construction of the home. And he has, the home will be at least, hopefully 2,000 square feet. He'll have a brick facade, which wasn't necessary in the first annexation agreement. The 2 other lenders have backed out State Bank and Countryside, and Standard Bank has merged with First Midwest. He still has 6 months to go to put up that one home. He has tried, but without this release from the village, a lender would not issue a loan. Nor would I ever recommend a lender saying, here's your money, because they're second in line. So he has asked, that we consider this request.
And I'd just like to add one thing, that we had told him that the size of the home had to be a minimum of 1,650 square feet to 1,850, and he's building a home 2,050 feet, square feet, which fits the area much better. It's going to keep the values of the existing homes there with that larger home.
And we also, if I'm not mistaken, 2 years ago, we said $225 for a home, and now he's asking $275?
Well, the market now is $110 a square foot. Construction's gone up, the concrete's gone up substantially, and the lumber. I did confirm that with another builder from Vermont. They go up $140 a square foot. Depends on the area and the size of the home, but hopefully he'll get $275. I mean, I would think we run a higher value for everyone's sake, but he said that's hopefully what the market bears.
Any other questions? David, did you want to say something? Saw you move your microphone.
No, not
I ask for a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve on the conditions of attending officials.
Is there a second?
To death.
I'll second.
Okay, my motion and a second.
Discussion?
Yes, sir.
My feelings personally about the gentleman are pretty similar to Mr. Gray, I believe, Trustee Gray. However, I also recognize that we need to have homes in Monee available to sell, and this is the only area where there really are lots available right now. And he has 6 months. If he's not there in 6 months, then we have options. So regrettably, I'm going along with this, but I really feel like this gentleman is getting to the end of his rope.
I think if I can say, the incumbent prior to the election trustees have been down this road. I understand that fully. Any other discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Trustee Racer?
Yes.
Trustee Vincent?
Yes.
Trustee Blue?
Yes.
Trustee Gray?
No.
Trustee Holston?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. And the last item is that it was discovered that there's a very small lot near South Holland Meadows that's up for sale for back taxes. I believe DJ found a sign up there indicating it's up for back taxes. It's where our pump station is located. So this was probably established back in 1997. It failed to get on the exempt list, but it is up for back taxes. We were able to contact the trustee who's selling at the tax sale. If we want to purchase the lot, I believe it's $675. We need a motion authorizing the mayor to execute the contract to purchase this lot and get it on the exempt list.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Discussion, yes.
So how did we build a pump station on a piece of property we didn't even own?
Well, I think what happens, this is the second or third time, if the board recalls, I think this happened in a park lot roughly a couple of years ago. When they did the subdivision probably back in 97, 98, for whatever reason, that parcel was carved out, but it was probably failed to put on the exempt list back in 97. And it's a relatively small amount of taxes, but we built it, and without anybody objecting to it from the county standpoint, we constructed it. But it's happened a couple times, but it usually occurs with subdivisions going in several years ago. And we're supposed to put that PIN number on the exempt list.
Any other discussion? Have a motion, please. I'm sorry, roll call.
Trustee Blue?
Yes.
Trustee Gray?
Yes.
Trustee Holston?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Racick?
Yes.
Trustee Vincent?
Yes.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Heather. Move on to old business. Is there any old business anyone wishes to bring up? Any new business? If not, open to the public. Non-agenda items. Do we have anyone who'd like to say anything? Please step forward. Oh, not you, Jim. No, you can't step forward.
I'm exempt.
You go right ahead.
Jim Jan, Gulf Vista. I'm on the P&Z. I was here last Wednesday night, and Trustee Gray was here also. I do, in hindsight, I do have a concern coming from the north to the south on Route 50. Is there anything that can be done with that tree that might be an obstruction of vision? And is there any kind of signage that we can put there to alert people to slow up? Or, you know, those school buses don't move as fast as a car does when they can't exit the driveway.
Right.
Why don't you give us time to digest that,
Okay.
Jim? We'll take it through the building department and what have you, and see what
Okay,
things we might be able to do.
okay. We don't know what that property.
So that's one of the things we'll find out, David. Anyone else for open to the public?
Yes. Hello, my name is Ken Masika, 5824 West Roosevelt Street. I'd like to address the emergency management situation that we have. Are we prepared? Are generators up? I know the person is missing that was out here usually, and I'd like to get commented on it, please.
I can say that EMA is healthy, everything's working fine. We'll be posting a job for the head of that. We've already reached out to them. I don't know if anyone has applied, but we will post that job. But they're ready and willing to work. There's no problem.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening again. I failed to mention some of the things we're doing to, of course, support the city of Monee and continue to develop. I heard from Ms. Blue talking about some interns. One of the things that we've implemented as of the last month is that we're starting the folks we're hiring at $10.50. We're trying to, of course, elevate the folks we attract, and we're being very selective interview process and orientation process to help them adjust to McDonald's. So that's something, what you shared about the interns, we would love to partner as well. If there's anything we could do to support that, that's something I did very well in my previous role, where we bring in diverse group of people into McDonald's and expose them to the business environment. We all know McDonald's, a lot of people, McDonald's was their foundation, right, the first job. So we'll be more than happy to partner with the city of Monee to help the folks that you're trying to encourage to get ready for the future. Just wanted to share.
Before you leave the mic, I just want to say to you, I like what I'm hearing from you in the respect that I think everyone in this room can share this. When you go through a drive-through, whether it's McDonald's or who knows, I won't name the others, but I don't want to use the word notorious, but you get home with your food and it's not your order. And I believe with what you're saying, you're going to be sure that you get through that in a message to your employees, because there's nothing more discouraging. I'm not going back there, you know.
Right.
And I know you don't want to hear that either.
No,
I had to make that comment though, okay? Thank you very much.
Absolutely. No, the city has been great to us. We want to make sure we change and create a better relationship. We're handicapped with one window, and I'm not very used to having just one window drive-through. We usually will have two windows, but we're doing our best. And you probably have seen the new uniforms. We changed the uniforms of the crew. They don't wear name tags anymore. They wear name badges. So we're trying to really elevate their thinking as well and get them to a comfortable place. The 1050 has been doing wonders. I mean, folks are more willing to, to come in and give us a try. So I asked if I would love to have a very diverse group of workers. So if the city could send some folks our way, we would love to have them come in and work for us as well.
Well, you could be busy with Amazon.
That's right. We love it. Thank you.
Anyone else open to the public? If not, we're going to an executive session. We are. Yeah, there is an item. We will be going to an executive session. I can't tell you how long it might take. It should be short. It should be. For personnel salary discussions. Thank you, Larry.
Motion?
A motion to adjourn? To go into executive session, I'm sorry. Made by Holston.
Second.
Second by Race. Roll call, please.
Trustee Blue?
Yes.
Trustee Gray?
Yes.
Trustee Holston?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Racick?
Yes.
Trustee Benson?
Thank you all very much for being here.
You can say it.